This is the I Read Comic Books podcast, the very best podcast for regular comic book fans. I am your host, Mike Rapin. Joining me this week, a cool Gen Z FBI investigator and their no bullshit best-in-class partner. This week, I'm joined by Danny from the Next Issue podcast.
No bullshit here.
I mean, we'll see. And our very special guest for this episode, comic book creator extraordinaire, Zack Kaplan.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh man, we are very excited to chat with you today. We talked a little bit about the Knicks and about the FIFA games that are happening right now before we started recording, but we're here to talk about comic books, okay? For folks at home though, who maybe don't know who you are, Zack, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you've been up to, what you've got going on right now?
Yeah,
you're a busy man.
I'm a busy man. I'm a comic creator. I'm a comic writer, and I write mostly sci-fi or genre, supernatural, action, thriller, all sorts of creator-owned books. And this year I've got about 4 different books that I'm doing with Dark Horse Comics. Masterminds, Kill All Immortals, Only the Savage Are Left, and the Smart Division, which is coming out shortly. And yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. You were so kind to give Danny and I a preview some of those books, as well as a book that you have coming out, The Smart Division, which is what I was alluding to in the intro here. But before we talk about that, I'd love to get into it. We have these legally mandated questions that I have to get through, and I have to ask them. So how have you been? How have comic books been? Zack, let's start with you. What have you been reading, dude?
What have I been reading? I'm very much on the bandwagon. I jumped on Green Arrow. Pornsack is a dear friend, and I hate him for being such a good writer. But everything he touches is phenomenal, and yeah, that was great. That deserves all the freaking press and hype that it's gotten. Absolute Green Arrow was really cool. So that was my my read of the last week or so.
Yeah, man, I have not had a chance to sit down. I'm woefully behind on all my Absolute books, but I've heard that one is incredible. I mean, Pornsack is an incredible writer. Like, everything that I've read from him has been gold.
Yeah.
So I was very excited to see he was announced as...
If you guys are listening, you don't know his work. Infidel, Good Asian, Man's Best, boom.
Yes.
Yeah, great writer.
Yeah, I mean, God, that Man's Best book with Jesse Lonergan.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Jesse,
Jesse,
he's amazing too.
Yeah. Totally. I don't know what the Absolute Green Arrow book is about though, other than like I think he's killing people and he's killing them really hard. Is that what the book is basically?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Green Arrow is killing people hard.
I like that.
Yeah, right. And then Dinah's kind of, I guess she seems to be the main character for now. So she's got to get to the bottom of it. Get to the bottom of this new killer Green Arrow. It's great. I think that it does everything you'd want an Absolute book to do, which is kind of reinvent everything and keep you on the on your toes. And the art's great. Albuquerque's just a killer artist. Yeah, I've had a couple covers from him. He's phenomenal. So yeah, it's tight.
It's a killer combo. Danny, I'm assuming you've read this, right?
I have, and let me tell you, this Absolute train is not stopping anytime soon. Like every title, but this one is so cool because it does have that murder mystery type of thing. But Albuquerque draws violence and really gory stuff so well that it just really comes out of the page. We'll talk about a little bit of violence and gore when we get to Zack's work, because I feel like there's definitely a big crossover. So yeah, it's just incredible. And then, like I said, Dinah redefining the character. There's a mystery of who's behind the mask of the new Arrow, because Oliver Queen is dead. We know that. So yeah, it has so much going for it, and I love the team. I like all the stuff that they've been doing. So this Absolute idea stuff is just, it's a gold mine. Like, DC found a way to reinvent themselves while still keeping going on the other stuff. So like, kudos to whoever came up with that. I hope they got a really nice bonus for the end of the year.
It was Scott, wasn't it? Scott Snyder? I think it was.
I'm sure most of it. Yeah, he seems to be the architect behind all this stuff. So, and he's at Heroes Con right now as we're speaking, telling people like what else is coming for the next few months. So, very excited to see where all these books go from here.
Is Scott is he running the show on the Absolute line? Is that what's happening here?
That's my impression.
Okay.
I don't know enough. My impression is that Scott is, along with the editors at DC, but Scott is kind of the architect of it all. Yeah, that's my impression.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I love to see it. I'm loving what's happening right now with the Absolute Books. So okay, that's great. That's great. I anyways, we could talk about Absolute Books all day, but Danny, let's kick over to you. What have you been reading? How have you been? All that stuff.
I've been really well. It's been super busy week. Last weekend we had One Piece pre-release for the latest set. So those that are keeping along with my expenses in our Discord. Add a few boxes of One Piece trading card game to the tab. And then we also have, of course, like Mike said, the World Cup is going on, which I'm all in on, and that's so many games. I hope that everyone that's listening really appreciates how I am missing one of the games that I wanted to watch the most, because now, granted, this was all before we planned the schedule. But yeah, it's so much fun to see people excited, to see people visit other countries and then just kind of like be just absorb the culture. Like my favorite thing on social media right now is like Europeans and Asians and people from Africa and other countries, like they are discovering what North America living is like. And
yeah.
I don't know that they were ready for the heat. First of all, I mean, some countries might have been, but not everyone. So that's quite fun. Everybody's going to the Waffle House, which is unsung hero of American culture. And far as comics,
I saw a bit like that where there was like a German guy who was like, "This is the best meal I've ever had in my life," and it was like some run of the mill, just like little tiny diner in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, yes, this is what America actually is. Like, I love that so much.
Yeah. Now, as far as comics though, they've also been great. When I was trying to figure out what to talk about on the show, there were so many things I wanted to talk about, but I want to give a quick shout out since we did touch on Absolute stuff. And nobody else put it on the notes. Absolute Catwoman, Shay Grayson, Scott Snyder, and Bengal. Another great miniseries. Like I said, they don't know how to miss. They can't make a bad book over at the Absolute office, over at DC. But the thing that I want to talk about is, if anybody is a fan of Kevin Smith, he finally got a chance to play with the Marvel toys. So I'm going to talk about Jay and Silent Bob, Jay's of Future Past, written by Kevin Smith, with art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, inks by Cam Smith and Roberto Poggi, colors by Marcio Menes and Eric Garcia. I got Travis Lanham doing the letters. This is just Kevin Smith's like love letter to the Marvel Universe. This is what happens when you get enough clout and you have your own characters and you get to play around and write your own story. You can definitely tell that obviously Kevin's a longtime fan of all this stuff. He's written for Marvel before. He's gonna be writing for Marvel more. If you get to the end of the book, he's gonna be doing a Spider-Man Hulk book. So yeah, it's just pure chaos because his characters are insane too. Like if you're a fan of his movies, it's like Jay. There's a panel where Jay meets Deadpool, and it's like the most meta thing. And this all takes place in your corner of the country, Mike. It's all in New Jersey. Like,
I know. I'm sure it is.
The book starts in New Jersey, and they just kind of go all over the place. It's really fun. It's really meta. Camuncoli's art is just incredible. He really knocks it out of the park with both having the likenesses of the characters look like they do in the films, but also just like drawing, I don't know, like 50 different Marvel characters across 32 pages or however long this book is. I'm usually kind of hit or miss on Kevin Smith's movies, but when it comes to the nerdy stuff like his podcast and his comic books, I think he always truly delivers, because he's just a big fan that somehow he got in the office, and now they can't kick him out. So it's a lot of fun to read. And I got this really cool Phil Noto cover.
I was just looking at that.
It's, dude, the covers are insane. Talk about a hit to my wallet. Choosing which cover I was gonna get was tough. In a week where we have Matt coming out with their own blind bags, which is a whole other thing that Nick's probably pulling his hair on right now while he's listening to us proofreading. It's comics. Like Mike says it best. Comics are good, and I'm having so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, to be immortalized by Phil Noto, with a bunch of Marvel characters, that's pretty fantastic. I mean, that's the dream right there. Well, let me talk about a book that I've been reading really quick. I just sat down last night and read Deadman #1. I should say, before I get into it, it's a fantastic book. I'm also financially going to be in ruin in the next 2 weeks as the Marvel set for Magic the Gathering is coming out, and I keep seeing new cards, and I keep saying I will spend a stupid amount of money to get these Jack Kirby cards for no reason other than like they look cool. They're not even mechanically great. They're just fine. It doesn't matter. I'm in trouble is what it is. Every time they revealed new cards, I'm like, this is a problem. This is a problem. So yeah, Godspeed to me. I guess as I go broke and
less diapers for the baby.
Listen, I make sure that the child is fed. That's what's happening,
Okay,
and
good.
then I spend the rest of my money on Magic cards. So I don't eat, but she does. It's fine. Anyways, I did read a comic this week. A couple comics. I'm back in my Naruto train. I'm starting to read it again. It's take a few weeks off and now I'm back. But I did read Deadman #1. This is W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo, Chris O'Halloran, good old Neon. The Ice Cream Man boys are back at DC doing another book. I'm in, obviously. How are you not in, given how great the Superman Kryptonite Spectrum book was, how great everything that they've done with Ice Cream Man over the past couple months has been? I don't know. My background with Deadman, though, is basically nothing. So I went into this completely blind. I didn't even know Deadman's real name. I'd seen the iconic character in his outfit with the big, huge, like red, I don't know, like shoulders and stuff like that, but never really read anything about Deadman. There was a moderator on the /r/comic book subreddit for a while who was very active on their Discord, and he was obsessed with Deadman, and we like made all these special things to make sure that Deadman was very prominent in like the design that we did at one point way back in like 2009 or 2010. But other than that, I knew nothing about Deadman. But anyway, so going to this book blind was completely fine. You really don't need to know anything. They give you a very brief one-page explainer of like, Deadman got killed. There was this deity named Ramakrishna, who decided it wasn't exactly his time to go. So now he has to shepherd souls into place A or place B, or maybe back into their bodies. Or if they get stuck, he has to help them. That's his whole thing. He's like a janitor. And that's kind of the bit of the story. You take that, and then you take this horrific mystery at the center of the story that is very akin to Ice Cream Man, and you've got Deadman #1. It reads like a wacky slice of life comic, and I really love that. It's not bombastic. It's very grounded. It reminds me of every issue of Ice Cream Man where you're like, I know something supernatural and strange is going on here. Obviously, there's ghosts, so that's kind of strange, but like, it feels very just plain. It's just slice of lifey. Deadman's just doing his job. And then there's something very dark and nefarious right at the end. And I'm like, I'm totally in. This is nasty Martin Morazzo creeping on your mind with like subtle hints and nods until you get to the end. So this book is going to be great. I'm certain of it. I'm very happy that these guys are doing more work over there, because I like taking their brand of strange and scary and putting it on DC characters. I think that's been really, really fun. So highly recommend it if you didn't check it out.
It's on my list for sure.
Yeah. I if you like Ice Cream Man, this is like a natural sibling comic to that. I feel like Absolute, or the Superman Kryptonite Spectrum, kind of a wacky fun book, but this book feels like an Ice Cream Man story, and like it's the perfect setup.
That's great.
Before I just want to comment, like, interestingly enough, this book feels more superhero than the Superman book, which is weird.
Somehow.
That a Deadman book would be more, it feels more down the superhero route. Probably because it's in main continuity as opposed to the Black Label of it all. But yeah, it's such a wild ride, and it explains Deadman so well that I finally understand Boston Brand and his actual mission and why he's back and why he's left in the world after so many years of reading comics. So they're doing good work. And like I said, Morazzo's art, the stuff that he's drawing, once again, I don't know, maybe there's a theme going on today that we're just kind of leaning into the gore and the gnarly imagery. That's fine. That's cool. I love that stuff. So give me more of that.
Yeah, totally. So I'm looking forward to where this book goes. Zach, if you check it out, you'll have to let us know what you think of it. I think you'll dig it.
It's at the top of my list.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of top of your list, what is on the top of your pile? Is it Deadman #1 or is it something else?
Deadman is definitely at the top of my list. I love gauging what I should read based on lots of reviews out there and looking at just like what's getting great buzz on reviews, and Deadman is definitely one. Another one that is I'm excited to go to is Neighborhood Watch over at Boom.
Yeah.
Sarah Gailey, such a good writer. I Eat the Rich, and couple others that she's done, but I really love everything she does. It's just so kind of these great, I don't know, slice of life mystery thrillers. You fall in love with a character, and then they're thrown into really interesting situations. And yeah. So, and I saw Neighborhood Watch got some killer reviews. So I like seeing stuff like that catch fire. So that's something I'm excited to pick up.
Heck yeah. I feel like I saw this on the solicits at some point, and I just completely forgot about it. So I appreciate you bringing it back to my mind. Go ahead, Danny.
It's a very interesting book because it gives you the story from like two different point of views that eventually kind of collide. There's this like neighborhood association, and then there's like commune of people that kind of live together that kind of collide. So you have that element of it, of like there's a class difference already, so that's already conflict. But then there's the mystery of it all, and then Haining doing the art. I mean, it's incredible stuff. Like the way that they're doing panels and separating both communities in each of their pages and kind of going back and forth.
I like books that take a left turn approach sometimes, or take on layouts in an interesting way, or take on a device in the storytelling that sets it all apart. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think you would definitely enjoy it once you get to it.
I gotta check this out then. Gosh, you guys, did I not just tell you about my financial problems with these?
That's the point of the question. Is to get you. Yeah.
I know. Listen, if you were just gonna say Deadman, it's like, good. I already bought that book.
Deadman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Danny. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me talk about a book that is on top of my pile. This is a book that I have the digital copy for. I don't have the physical copy yet. I think it's coming in the mail. But this is Orlando, written and drawn by Jules Shiel. It's an adaptation of the classic Virginia Woolf novel, which is a story about a poet adrift in time. He starts out his life as a nobleman in Queen Elizabeth's court, and her story concludes as a 36-year-old woman in the present. There was a movie that was made a while back in like 1992 or 4 or something, I can't remember, starring Tilda Swinton and Billy Zane. And it is one of the most like mind like changing. It was a movie that like didn't change my mind so much as it was just like such an interesting, beautiful portrayal of like gender and like expectations of gender roles and stuff. And I had never heard of it before, and Tilda just absolutely nails it like throughout from beginning to end. She's just like the perfect person to have played the titular character Orlando. And to see that this Jules Shiel is adapting this for Avery Hill Press. Everyone who listens to the show knows that I'm an Avery Hill publishing sucker, so like every book they put out, I'm pretty much buying a copy. So very excited to see that they're putting this out. But I really want to see how Shiel like adapts this story to comic, because I really loved the movie. I've never read the novel. Maybe this is just like a hammer to say like I should be reading the novel too, but such a beautiful movie. I cannot wait to see the comic. Have you guys heard of this? Had you seen Orlando before or anything?
It's interesting. No.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain like just how beautiful of a movie it is, because it is like it touches on so many things, and it is such a short film. I was so blown away by it. So if you get a chance, go watch Orlando with Tilda Swinton. Or if you want, go buy this comic. It's going to be great. Like Shiel's art is fantastic.
I want to see Billy Zane adapted into a comic book form.
I mean, Billy Zane is just Billy Zane in the Elizabethan court, right? And it's so funny to see him in that role. But really, the star is Tilda Swinton,
character from Titanic. Brought to this book.
Exactly. Well, Danny, let's end with you before we get into talking about some comic books that Zack has written. What's on the top of your pile this week?
Well, there's a lot on the top of my pile, but it's always hard for me to pick something because I have to read a lot of stuff on Friday and Saturday before we record, just because I need to prep reviews for the next week. But this time I did have something that I haven't gotten to. My friends over at Image Comics sent me Memoirs of Giselle. This is a new trade paperback by Katia Vecchio. Now, I'm not familiar with the creator at all, other than knowing that I got this book and I should check it out. And I saw somebody say, like, they posted, this book just wrecked me, and then they were crying on their video. And I was like, all right.
Oh, good.
I'm ready to
Good.
hurt. Let's go. Like I need something in between all this superhero horror like mystery stuff to just kind of ground me back to earth. So this is described as a coming of age slice of life graphic novel that explores the psychological journey of a young woman carrying the weight of childhood trauma. And listen, I could go to therapy or I could just read more comic books. And I think I'm going to take the comic book route because it might
Right.
be cheaper in the long run. Maybe not the way I buy comic books, but for a regular person, it probably would be cheaper.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's as the memoirs of Giselle unfolds with quite inevitability. Oof, that's say that 3 times. A brother and sister move through the fragile terrain of their childhood, marked by hidden abuse, silence, and loss. So this is not a lighthearted book. This is something that's pretty heavy. So you really have to get in the right brain space for it. But like I said, I have read enough other stuff, and I have other stuff ready to read right after that I think it'll even me out. So I should be good. Vecchio's art looked incredible just from the little previews that I was browsing through on my iPad as I was checking out the review copy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just get in and lock in on this one. I'm very excited because I love reading the books. This seems to be like semi autobiographical, but not fully. Like I said, I don't know the creator, so I don't know much of their story. But I know that, and I'm sure Zach can attest to this. Like sometimes writers put themselves in their stories, or and they have you have to use from life to kind of bring these books to life. So,
I'm immortal, so that's where that
I was
comes
gonna
from.
say.
Yeah.
Wait, are you Gen Z? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, there are some amazing stories when I mean, like I think Zoe Thorogood, who puts her life bravely right freaking on the page and then tears your heart apart, and
Oh yeah,
that's a great I don't know if it's a genre or a style or an approach, but those kind of stories can be very powerful. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, there's like a rawness to it that is like it's scary in some ways.
Yeah.
This definitely gives a little bit of that lonely at the center of the earth vibes from Zoe. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's fun to explore comics. I think hopefully people don't dislike this book just because it made them sad, because I think that's kind of a false narrative that when a book or a movie or something makes you sad that you don't think that it's good. I think that the fact that it made you feel something means that it's actually accomplishing what it's trying to do. So hopefully people talk about this. I'll probably talk more about this eventually when I get through it. So stay tuned either here on the show or on my channel or wherever. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this a lot. Just because I think it's very brave, like Zach mentioned, like for an artist and a creator to do stuff like this.
Totally.
I don't do that. I mean, I'm not brave enough to do that.
Not yet.
I don't know. I like to write. I write fantastical, over the top things, and I tap into human emotion and drama for sure. But people write with a different engine, and I do not put myself 1,000% like that bravely on the page. I very much look up to writers who do that. It's very impressive.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about this, but I think there is a lot of kind of the world that you live in, Zach, in your stuff, that as we kind of get through it. So maybe it's not personally you, but you can definitely tell like
I put point of view on.
Yeah,
like, I don't put like a comic book writer who's like going through shit in my comic, and like I don't make you like cry because like Zach, the comic book writer, is having a hard time, but there are stories out there about people saying like, yeah, my life went through this awful thing and you should cry with me about it. And and you're like, yeah, I will do that with you. Yes, this is beautiful and awful. And yes, let's go. So
this is why I can only read those volumes of my my lonely oh man, the Lesbian Life of Loneliness series or something like that. There's this manga series that is about this woman who is like, she is a comic book creator. She's trying to like get out of her shell. She lives with her parents. She's trying to get her own apartment. It's like so autobiographical and so brutally honest about like the reality of the life that she's living. And just like, okay, I need to like go for a walk and like get some sun on my skin. And like, cause it's very like beautiful to read, but it is so heavy to carry, right? Like, so anyway, but we can talk about the books that are your point of view, not your biography right now. You've got two books that we were here to talk about today.
Let's do it.
Clear, hard transition. We wanted to talk today about the Smart Division that's out on August 5th. It's you and John Pearson. And you've got the Only the Savage Are Left, which came out 2 weeks ago as of recording today. And you've got issue number 2 coming out very soon. This is you, Stefano Raphael, Diego Rocha, and Hassan Osmani Elhau. Fantastic books. You let Danny and I take a look at those books. Holy smoke, Zach. How do you do it? That's not my first question. I just very impressed by the books that you got coming out, man.
Thank you.
I am curious, though, if we just dive right into the Only the Savage Are Left. Zombies in 2026. What are we doing? I'm curious because I feel like, is this a story that came from the heart, or are you just aggravated by the political climate? Because you know this thing of like zombies come and go based on like political unrest. Is that or did you have something to say with your very interesting take on the like zombie style story?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, I thought let's spin it not exactly do zombies. Let's do the zombie apocalypse with monsters, and let's rather than be undead, let's explore this really interesting, dramatic choice that you could have, which is to save yourself from transforming into that creature. What would you do if you could save yourself? But yeah, it's very much by injecting that choice, I think you get a more socio, like, what's our relationship with the world of monsters, you know, like should we be hiding away? Should we be facing off? Should we be turning violent? Should we be holding on to our ideals? And that is very much about living in a world today where I feel like we do live in a world of monsters, and we do live in a world where there's way too much violence, and we're numb and saturated to it. And I don't know what the whole we go high and be a good person in the face of monsters doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the path forward all the time. And so this is me kind of trying to say to readers, are you guys feeling a little torn about how to be a good person in the world today? And what do you guys think? And thus the main character of this book is this young, idealistic pacifist who just wants to be a good person. He's the best of us, and we put him through the ringer.
I mean, I wasn't trying to be like completely pointed, like how dare you do zombies today? Because it's not a zombie book. It's a very interesting perspective shift on what appears to be just like another zombie story. And I think that the last third of the book does a fantastic job of like setting you very, very far away from what a typical zombie monster, they're out there, it's they're ravenous, there's nothing we can do about it type of story, which I really, really appreciated. Danny, I'll turn over to you after this very simple question. Is why the color yellow? Is that important, or am I reading too much into it?
There's a lot of yellow.
There's a lot of yellow in the book.
I noticed. We took yellow several ways. I mean, first off, we had to come up with the color of the infection. And one of the things we did not want this book to feel like was a demonic book, a book about hell, a book about undead creatures. So we wanted to get away from red.
It's a fine line. Yeah.
If you make the creatures red, they feel like they're demonic or they're underworldly. And so this is a book about infection. This is a book, I mean, it's not about infection, but the device that we're built around is you get infected and you can stop that infection. So yellow felt like that was the right choice for the transition from human being to creature. Yellow is indicatively kind of it gives a sickly sort of vibe. So the whole piece itself has kind of this yellowish undertone. I think in a lot of ways the book feels like a Western, because this is about a character going from a safe environment and going out into an uncharted kind of world. And there's very much kind of a cowboy morality tale to Ryder's story. So the kind of yellow tones of kind of a Western, like Hell or High Water, felt very right. We, Chago as our colorist, amazing colorist who's done Kill All Immortals, Masterminds, Midnight Shadows with me, now this book. So very versatile. And we talked with Stefano Raffaele a lot about the tone and atmosphere of the book. And then yellow is also interesting because our main character is carrying around a shield that is made out of a crossing sign, which represents so the school bus yellow also represents kind of like the best of us, like our innocence and our childhood. So we had a lot of fun kind of creating different yellows that mean different things. Like there's a yellow that means sickly and beastly, and then there's a yellow that means like our loss of innocence. So you're 1,000% right to pick up on, like, we anchored the whole book around yellow.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that it was like in my face, but it was a thing that I got to the end and I was just like, hold on a second, things are starting to click in my mind. So thank you for affirming that I'm a smart guy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love to come at a team from the beginning and be like, okay, what are our touchstones? Why are we making these choices? Because I feel like you could just cut everybody loose and you could just say, hey, Stefano, just draw whatever you want to draw, and Chago, just color whatever you want to color. But when you bring everyone together and you ask those sorts of questions, you get this, that's when you land on choices that have meaning and that stand out and have impacts. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, like, Green Lantern, stay away. That's fantastic.
Yellow, yeah.
For the first thing I'm going to comment on, Zach, one thing I love that when a book does is give you like this big title page, like a few pages in, kind of like a movie. You watch a few minutes of it and then the title comes up. Also, Tom Mueller with this title, like, I'm assuming it's Tom Mueller because I see that he designed the book.
Mueller. He does all my stuff. He's amazing.
That's amazing, dude.
It looks incredible. But what I wanted to ask is why your decision to jump 5 years into the future after we why that amount of time, and how does that kind of get to the story?
I think several reasons. I mean, it's a great question, and it's a tough choice. But I think that we want to see the world a new status quo. I think I want to see a new status quo, and I wanted a period of time where our protagonist Ryder has been shut away long enough, and it had to be. He starts off in high school. Him and this is a love story between him and his love interest. Her name's Oakland, and she's a real strong-willed young woman. They start off in high school, so they're driving. They're 16 or something like that, and so I wanted him to be in his early 20s. I felt like 21 felt like the right age to be at that crossroads of still just coming out of childhood, but not yet sure where your path forward was. And so, 5 years just felt like the right amount of time. I mean, could it have been 4 years? Could it have been 6 years? I mean, it was in that ballpark. But I think it had to be enough time that we really, and this is a post-apocalyptic story. We wanted enough time where the environment and the world had felt the decay of absence of human beings not tending to it long enough. 5 years felt like you could start to see cars, rotting in the rain and stuff like that. So yeah, it fit everything that we wanted, but we wanted Ryder to be ending a world that he had been sitting out on. And I think that's a very important kind of thematic question and aspect. Ryder has started this journey with his mother, and they have chosen to face a world of monsters by not facing a world of monsters. They are sitting out and hiding and being safe, which I think is probably exactly what I would do.
Right.
Like the world has been taken over by monsters. Where can I go hide and just stay away from this forever? But it's kind of a question of like, is that the right choice? Like, is that the best choice? I mean, is that, are you really being a good person by just putting up walls and looking after yourself? And I don't know that. So we kind of hit that directly right in the first issue.
I mean, that's like always an interesting thing about like, stories that take place in like a post-apocalyptic world where like there is this question of like, is isolation the right way to do things? Is like, keep it, it's a thing that you can easily apply to like modern day. It's like, do you need to put fences up around your entire gated, your little community, create this gated community? Does that actually benefit you? Does it benefit everyone? Like,
does it benefit anyone? Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing because I think you can hit it like very hard in a story like this because like obviously there is a reason to do that, but even still, like, does that actually help you? Does it actually help anyone? And I appreciate that. I think that in the fact that so far, at least in the first issue, we haven't focused so much on like that aspect of the story. I do like that this story kind of jumps into becoming an adventure of some kind. And that to me really, again, distinguishes it from like many other like zombie or monster, outside post-apocalyptic stories like this, where there is a sense of adventure rather than a sense of dread when people go out into the world. Not that it's in a happy-go-lucky book, but like I did feel excited by the end. I wasn't like, oh no, what's going to happen to these people? I wasn't worried, and I really appreciated that how the book got through that. So, was that a choice that you made to like try to keep it a little bit lighthearted? Is it very heavy quotes there, or were you? I don't know.
I think the reason you feel that is because you can tell that Ryder is not where there are some things that Ryder has that are honorable that we like, that we don't want him to lose. He does have a sense of looking out for other people, and he has a sense of being a good person, and we don't want to see him lose that. But we also feel like this is a young man that has the opportunity to grow. And so meeting someone like that and seeing them have that opportunity, I think gives you a lot of excitement because you're like, yeah, go out there, find the girl, help her out, become a better person, rise to the occasion. Like you want to see him pull that off. So I think that it's not just a road trip that causes you to get excited. I think it's the character and that opportunity that causes you to go, I like this guy and I want to see him succeed.
Absolutely.
And he's going to get tested, and that there's going to be challenges and sacrifice, but you want to see, is he going to be able to overcome them? So I mean, I think that's the intention there, is to give readers someone that they can care about, that they go, heck yeah, I'm in on this guy's journey. Let's go. And you feel excited to see if he'll rise to the occasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also want to add, Zach, like, because I'm just a big nerd about making the actual process of how comic gets put together.
Yeah.
Are all these sound effects in your script? Is that something that the letter is coming up with? Like, does that come from the art? Because there are some sounds in here, especially like there's a page where like a head explodes and like all the gunfire and the noises the creatures make and all that stuff. Like it just fits so well with the art and it's incorporated so well. But I don't know if that's something that you were researching or like where it comes from.
Step one is you hire an Eisner nominated letterer.
Yeah.
Step one. And then step two is you write gunshot, and then you I know when to overwrite something or lean in on something, and I know when to step back and be like, here you go. So in my scripts, I will try to come up with the sound effects. I will write boom or bang or thud or crack. I will write the general thing, but I've worked with Hassan long enough that he has carte blanche to try whatever he wants to try, and often does, and often comes up with better sound effects than I've come up with, and so I will sit there and go like, a head explodes. Is that a splash or like splish, or like I try to figure out the like what flush. And I might write fwoosh or something like that, but Hassan goes in there, and probably everything that you're impressed by is Hassan showing off with how great his sound effects are.
the beauty of it is that sometimes the sound effect is incomplete because it just goes into like the gore and all of it, right? And then you also have like, I don't think you wrote in the script like braka 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 braka. Like it's just so, it looks so cool across the page, and it
I
helps
think
you
I might
follow
have
the
wrote
story.
I might have wrote gunfire or rat-a-tat-a-tat tat or something like that,
Sure.
and he knew to change it to breka breka breka, and so yeah, and certainly I'm not thinking about as a storyteller, I'm not thinking about how it's going to look visually. I'm not like, oh, machine gun fire will look really cool visually in this. I just know that from a narrative standpoint, gunfire is happening. You know, that's Hassan coming in and transforming the book into art. You know, yeah, 100%.
It's good stuff. I mean, Hassan's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
The whole team. I mean, Hassan is an amazing letterer here, and the way he does the voiceover is done almost like a like writer's writing in his notebook, which is such a beautiful touch. And then we've talked about the colors with Thiago. Stefano Raffaele is putting on a master class.
Yes,
and it's so good
absolutely.
to see him getting the praise. I think this is his very first creator-owned book after 20 plus years of doing Marvel and DC and doing content in Europe. At least his first U.S. creator-owned book, and
Sure.
just a master class. I mean, the amount of juggling that he has to do from horror and romance and adventure and post-apocalyptic and all these different like nuances. Been an absolutely amazing visual work.
And the 2-page spreads in this book are just like, I'm just skimming through it again, and it's like, yeah, this is like an unbelievable amount of detail just to show a guy walking down a road. Like, he didn't have to flex that hard. Like, that's crazy.
Yes, thank you very much. God bless. Yeah, well, I think we do. I will tease. I think the book. We're deep into the series now visually, as in the lab back here as we're cooking it, and I think everyone's gonna be quite pleased as it continues. Like, I think the level of detail, the level of that holds up. So very excited for people to see the second issue. Yeah, gorgeous.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Cool. I'm hoping to grab that Sebastian Perez cover.
It's great. It's a great cover.
The sign. All the covers. It was. Listen, I appreciate that you sent me a book, but I got to the shop and I'm like, well, I can't leave all these behind. So
no, you got to save them too. They need help. Yes.
Yeah.
They need a home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I do want to move on to talk about this other book you've got coming out in August, The Smart Division. What the hell, man? I'm not to like just come at you with just exclamations, but like, this book is bonkers. Mostly from the sense of like, I like a good story that's like government conspiracy, something else that still like feels modern, but also just a little bit like it. This story is happening 4 days from now, kind of thing.
Yes.
I really, really appreciate that. So I guess for folks at home that don't know, The Smart Division, can you just a little blurb about what it is?
Yeah, The Smart Division is a sci-fi crime thriller with Eisner-winning artist John J. Pearson. And the basic question we want to ask is, what is going to happen when everyone starts using ChatGPT to commit crimes? How is law enforcement, how are detectives, how are the FBI going to stop killers, criminals, and ordinary people when they can literally use an app to outthink a detective's every move? And it follows the very first app of its kind, which is 5 minutes in the future, if that. And it's about a killer that starts to use the perfect crime creation app. And it follows 2 very different detectives. And we've painstakingly worked to put this story right in today's world. This is a world of 2026. It feels 2026. The FBI is the FBI of our era right now that feels like it's decaying as well. All of our Washington, D.C. feels like it's decaying. Our society feels like it's decaying. And there's very much this kind of question of, are we going to step up or are we going to give up? And it falls to 2 agents who are very different agents. One is a Gen Xer who's kind of been on the block for 20 years and is quite cynical. And another is a very tech savvy Gen Zer who is not giving up hope, but who is trying to play by her own rules. And
I mean, and that's the thing that, like, I mean, you've done the thing that makes something like True Detective, that first season of True Detective, like so interesting. Not to just completely compare it to other media, but like I do love that like dynamic that you immediately establish between the two of them. Like these are two people who are both really good at their job, or seem to be, right?
Yeah.
And then they're forced to work together under like classic circumstances. Like you've like checked off all the boxes that make a good like buddy cop thing. I mean, this isn't like a fun book, you know, but it is still like a buddy cop story. And I love that right away. And we get to see, you know, one side of the story a little bit more, but, you know, ending with an interview, like an interrogation of some kind. Again, like you're immediately hooked on this first issue. So like, how do you go around writing a story like this that is admittedly a bit depressing and kind of apathetic about like the state of the world,
Yeah.
but still keep it interesting? Because these characters clearly, despite the world that they live in, despite the department that they work for, they want to do the right thing. So like, how do you weave that web? Because it seems very complex without like getting too negative.
It is hard. It is a challenge, but I think it really comes down to, again, character, understanding who these people are. And yeah, I mean, they are, Will Bailey is the guy, and he is facing a world where he feels like people don't even care about solving cases anymore. It's all political. No one wants to stick their neck out. It's things are stalling, and he can feel the it's not the same as it was 10, 15 years ago. And you relate to that. You can feel why he's cynical, and you know, he's very good at his job, but he also is, you know, he's struggling to care or not. I think that's just a relatable thing. And then I think that
Totally.
Stevie is equally relatable because she doesn't buy into the system any more than he does, but she's like, you know, I'm young. Why are we giving up? Like, let's go. We're still FBI agents. We're supposed to catch bad guys. So they make for a very problematic pair, though. And I think that's one of the joys. We definitely lean into the True Detective energy of this, in the sense of you see two people who are good at what they do, but you don't know how they're going to work together, and you can feel the friction. And we want that. We want that story. Through their story comes everything. I mean, this, whether how should we feel about AI? How should we feel about following the rules? How should we feel about our society? Like, it all comes from them, that, you know, and really leaning into who these two people are. And another great comp, I think, is X-Files, in the sense of they have two very different worldviews on things, and you're watching their views battle it out as they're on this case, which is in and of itself, you can tell me, but I think readers will find themselves wondering how the hell these two are going to solve this case or go up against the app, because it seems like an impossible thing to do.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you established the first issue is very much like introducing us to them, but then there is this big case at the middle that we know we eventually have to get to, because things are only going to progressively get worse, and they kind of imply that like the ramp up is now. Like, this is just the beginning of how things are going to get extremely bad if we can't figure this out. So again, this book has so much in 24 pages, maybe less than that. Like it's very jam packed, and I mean, I'm so impressed with just how much you guys were able to do in just one issue. And I mean, John's work is fantastic, obviously, but
fantastic. Yeah. The visual is so, and I don't know if readers are not familiar with John Pearson. I did a book with him called Mindset in 22 at Vault Comics, which was about mind control. And we had a blast breaking form and really pushing the boundaries of how to use layouts and sequential storytelling to really make the thing feel like an experience. And we're doing that again in this book. And I think each subsequent issue raises the stakes on that even more. But John's work, he's also done Infernals at Image Comics with Ryan Parrott, and he did In Bloom with Michael Conrad over at Boom. He has another book coming out with Christian Ward called The Patron later this summer. And he's just he falls in the footsteps of Bill Sienkiewicz and David McKean. And if you like Martin Simmons out of Department of Truth, that sort of style, and absolutely breathtaking artwork, just, you know, gorgeous.
Totally. Good God. Yeah. I just paging through things, I'm just like, man.
Zach, how did this team get assembled? Because I feel like now that Mike and I we got a chance to look at the first issue, and we really appreciate that, because I don't know that I can see this story work with another artist now that I've read it. Like, so how did you guys there's a lot of abstract ideas in these pages. There's a lot of, but then there's also stuff that just feels like a, detective story that is grounded at some point. So it's I don't know, it's all over the place that I can't even put together like how one person is doing every single page that I read.
Yeah.
This is written for John for sure. And I think that it's possible the concept could have gone to another artist, but it would have come out completely different. And I always, the moment I had this idea, I thought of John, and I took it to him first. And we knew after Mindset that we would do another book together, and we were looking for the right time and the right opportunity. And I finally brought him this idea, and I said, listen, I think this is, first off, it kind of follows in the footsteps of Mindset because it's another kind of technology thriller, but very different technology thriller. And I think that the exploration of AI versus authenticity and kind of some of the themes that we can play with visually here, inevitability. There's a whole, I don't want to give too much away, but we also lean into what's inevitable in this story. And you'll see visual things happening that later demonstrate something that happens at the end. And there's this whole kind of like, what's inevitable? Is AI inevitable? Is what else is inevitable? What else are we just programmed to follow? So we play a lot with different like ideas that permeate right into the way the visual design is done. And there's not many artists that can do this sort of thing. So definitely this was a half idea at best brought to John, and then we developed it together, and I'm developing it with John in mind, and then I'm sharing treatments with him, and we're talking about ways that the visuals can enhance, and then I'm going back and I'm outlining and scripting, knowing what and we're at every point looking for those opportunities that we can enhance the visuals to better tell the story. So yeah, it's from the get-go. It's being cooked together. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned that because I did want to ask like how does this script for Smart Division differ from something like Only the Savage Are Left, because they feel like very different. It feels like you're taking very different approaches to the books, and also how do you keep all that stuff straight in your head when I'm assuming you were writing a lot of this stuff probably at the same time, maybe even with Kill All Immortals, because there's going to be more Kill All Immortals as well. So like
we have a third arc of Kill All Immortals coming. I'm writing that right now. I'm wrapping up Masterminds. I'm working on everything at the same time. To answer that question, it requires a lot of, I guess they say there are two types of writers. There are like pantsers that write by the seat of their pants, and there are plotters. I'm definitely someone that sits down and I try to visualize the whole story. And so for something like Smart Division, it goes from an elevator pitch / one-page pitch to like a 2-3 page treatment. And those are different steps that I devote a certain amount of time to take it from one step to another step. And then when it's time to outline it, I outline it heavily, so that the outline phase is a block of time that I spend, a week and a half, 2 weeks, where I'm just envisioning what every beat of every issue of the whole thing is going to be. It's all mapped out, and I'm moving around all the parts to create that synergy and to create that. Not to say things don't change once I get to scripting, but usually when it's like, oh, I look at my production schedule and I have to have issue 3 done by next week, and I've got 3 days to write issue 3. It's merely a matter of loading up the outline and looking at what I need to do, and then writing my 8 pages or 10 pages a day, and banging that out and making adjustments as I go. But a lot of it's done ahead of time, and that's the only way to handle this volume of different stories with different styles and different approaches. As far as like, how do I approach Only the Savage Are Left versus the Smart Division? I think it's about writing to the artists, understanding that, okay, Stefano Raffaele is going to excel at amazing environments and amazing character shots. You know, he which is beautiful to know that he can both do like Ryder walking through the woods and you're like, wow, that's beautiful, and then a close-up of Ryder, you can be like, wow, I'm writing lots of close-ups of Ryder. I'm writing lots of emotional shots, and then I'm writing lots of big wide shots and 2-panel double page spreads. I know I'm writing to him. In turn with John, it's going to be different. I'm writing different double page spreads for John too, but I'm writing the opportunity to be abstract more with John. I'm writing the opportunity to some things will not be Marvel style per se, but will be written with artist notes, or like this could be deconstructed, John, or the car is driving through these different scenes. This could be a DeLuca effect. This could be done in an interesting way, and giving John the chance to play around with form a little bit more. And so it really comes down to knowing the style of your artist and writing to them, and working with artists. I mean, here's the other thing I learned a long time ago. I think predominantly from Remender, pick great artists who have distinct styles. That's super helpful. And so having two artists like this and just being able to go, here you go, and here's being able to write towards either of these guys' styles is just a gift in and of itself, and they're so good. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, let me tell you, after reading the first issue, John grabbed that ball and he ran with it all the way home.
For sure.
So like, I can't even explain some of the visuals that I saw in this first issue.
Thank you.
And I talk about comic books every week. So yeah, it's great. That's what I love to see, when there's something new that I don't think I've experienced, and it's still. It just makes me question, like, how did this happen? And I'm very glad that we get a chance to talk to you a little bit about, like, you explain how things happen. So very cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited for you guys to continue to see John show off, because I think that the story only gets crazier. Like, we're also setting the table in issue
For
1.
sure.
Issue 1 is moody as hell, and it definitely is like, there's a lot going on. Meet the characters, meet the world, meet the case, and meet the mystery and all this stuff. But like, then once we get going too, it's full. The visuals just continue to explode. So yeah, really
Very
exciting. Yeah.
Well,
Man.
I'm looking forward, because you got somehow you guys have Jacob Phillips doing a variant, Jesse Lonergan's doing a variant for the first issue. And who's the third variant?
Matt Taylor's the other one.
Matt Taylor,
an amazing.
On top of the main cover,
it's Lady Justice is blindfolded, and the phone weighs more than the human heart, which is great. We've got some great covers, and couple exclusive covers that'll be hitting the market as we get closer to release, which I'm excited for people to check out too, by some cool artists. But the open orders that you can pre-order through your shop are all absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
June 29th. You guys have, as of listening to this one, you got till June 29th to pre-order the first issue.
Right around the corner. Yeah. Very different book than Only the Savage Are Left. But I feel like if you enjoy Only the Savage Are Left as a book that's a mix of kind of a high concept idea, and really hooky, and then really thought provoking, and really relatable characters, I feel like the Smart Division, both totally different books, but both similar in that, in those kind of that recipe. So yeah,
I mean, this is like spy detective bullshit that is exactly right up my wheelhouse. Like, I mean, one of my favorite books, I mean, behind me, if you can see, for folks that are watching the video, there's a pages of Department of Truth up here.
There you go.
I'm right there. Like,
if you like Department of Truth, I feel like this is people. If you like Department of Truth or World Tree, you'll love this book. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited for the rest of this. Like, I'm frustrated that you only had issue 1 for us to give, because I genuinely need to know where this goes. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not to be a complete dork about it, but I really had a lot of fun with it. And I mean, again, John's work is fantastic. I mean, and Only the Savage Are Left too. Again, great twist. Like, I love the direction you went with all that stuff. So Zach, we're really, really pumped for your new books that are coming out, dude. Danny, any last questions before we wrap up here?
No, I'm just going to recommend to our listeners, since this book doesn't come out for a little while, go check out Kill All Immortals. You have a bunch of stuff that you can catch up on. It's like a favorite TV show that kind of keeps coming back. And luckily, as we know, it's renewed for one more season, and I'm just looking forward to where we go from here.
Yeah, the first trade is out in Kill All Mortals, and we wrap the issues. The second graphic novel comes out in September, so not too far away for that. And then we come back in October. We're going to start to talk more about that in the next month or two for a third and final season. So very excited about more Kill All Mortals. Yeah. And it's good. The last one is good.
Look at that schedule.
I'm busy.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say you've got the best problem in the world, which is too much work to do, right?
I do. That is the best. I have the problem of making too many comics, which is a great problem.
Exactly.
I'm having the time. It's been a great year. It's been a really great year. So I'm very grateful, and I appreciate everybody checking out the books. Everyone who's listening, thank you.
Absolutely. And for folks that maybe want to find out more, if they want to find you on the internet and bother you with questions about these series, where can they find you?
Yeah, I have a website, zackkaplan.com. You can check everything out there. And then I'm on all social media platforms at Zack Caps, and especially I think active on Instagram, maybe most of all, but active on all of them a little bit. And definitely check out the books. Let me know what you think.
Sick. Well, thank you so much, Zach. This has been an absolute pleasure. Danny and I, we both love talking to you.
Thank you, Danny.
And thank you for giving us a preview of these books. Folks, go out there and check out the Smart Division. Go check out Only the Savage Are Left. Check out Kill All the Mortals. I mean, if you just type Zack Kaplan into the internet, you're going to find a dozen books, and I'm certain that one of them is going to be one that you really, really like. So make sure you go to do that. Thank you, Nick, for proof listening today. Thank you, Zach, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Such a blast, dude.
Great time.
Yeah, thank you, Danny, for being here with me. Thank you to Zander for editing. Thanks for everyone who is listening live. And until next time, comics are good, and so are you.